whistle blew at 10:02. Lines form like they're supposed to do. Springtime sun, a little loud on pavement full of silent crowd. Then I heard him near my name, casual voice, a quiet flame. Just a joke, or maybe not, but every cell inside me caught. He said, if we evacuate, I hope our mats are side by 8, and laughed like that was just a breeze. But I forgot how knees could freeze. No words came out, just flushed red skin, while all the roll calls chime within. He didn't blink, just looked ahead while I combusted in my head. Next to you, in shelters too. What kind of phrase? Full skies askew. Siren silent, world still calm, but I'm a storm beneath this charm. He said it once, then it was gone, but I replay it all day long. A casual line, a playful tease. Now I can't think, can't even breathe. This isn't fire, flood, or quake. It's him, it's me, and what he makes. Name tags flapping in the breeze, my voice stuck in emergency. Was I supposed to laugh or smile? Why does this tremble feel worthwhile? He glanced my way, just for a beat, and I stood nailed right to my feet. His words, they lingered like a flame, just one remark, but not the same. No one else seemed to react, but I was off the standard track. Evac plans transposted in my mind, where he and I were underlined. No earthquake drills could shake me more than what he said on field day floor. And now I wonder, every time, was it a joke or secret sign? Hope we sit side by side next run. He said it like it's just for fun, but I've rebuilt my brain since then. 1,000 what ifs in my pen. If drills repeat or storms arrive, I know the thought that we'll survive. Not where to hide or who to call, but who could catch me if I fall. He lit a flare, then walked away, but I still shine from yesterday. So I replay that little scene, a skip in time. Oh, what you mean? I'm no responder, no first aid, but I know where my heart just stayed. He gave no hint, he gave no glance, but still ignited circumstance. And now I stand in practiced rows with secret sparks nobody knows. Hope it's you beside me next. The line I left, my nerves perplexed. A fire drill, but not for flames. For every word that changes names. He smiled once, and now I burn. And every time the sirens turn, I half pretend and half believe that maybe next he won't just leave. He'll say it twice and mean it clear, and I'll reply without the fear. Puddle side beneath our shoes, sun returns with silver hue. The chalk lines blur, but still they stay. A map of footsteps washed away. He bent to pick a pink disguise. The ground's still wet, the sky's still shy. Then with a grin that sliced the blue, he said, this petal looks like you. Not a poem, not a tease, just casual like springtime breeze. But in my chest, alarms went wild. My voice got lost, my brain exiled. I held it like a precious thing, a joke, a spark, a tiny wing. His eyes moved on, so unaware of how my silence filled the air. You look like this, a petal light, soft pretend this rush won't last a while. I never asked to be compared to something soft, to something spared, but now I hold it like a sign that he once linked his world with mine. I press it flat between my notes and wrote in all the words he wrote, without ink, without intent, but still my thoughts are slightly bent. You seem like this, he didn't stay to see what storm he gave away, but still I treasure what he tossed. Footsteps aligned in rigid rows, sunlight glitters, itch and grows. Sirens fade, we're halfway there with fire drills, perfume in the air. Clipboard clicks, they call my name. Right behind, he stands the same. He leans and whispers calm and sly, wouldn't mind your mat near mine. Just a joke, or maybe bait. I freeze before I can translate. His smirk is carved from casual ease, while I combust behind my knees. Words collapse before I try. I nod, or did I just comply? My cheeks betray what I conceal. Evacuation got too real. If the world shakes down again, can I shelter in your grin? You say it light, but drop a flare. Now I'm burning mid-air. You toss a spark, I swallow flame. Still act like everything's the same. In drills we train to stay composed, but your lines leave me exposed. And I just wish you'd say it twice, with no alarms, no stage device. Marching on in practice pace, yet my pulse is out of place. I check the chart, his name, then mine, in perfect accidental line. They shout the counts, but I can't hear. All I sense is he is near. My head's a riot, not a plan. I'd fail this drill if I ran. He looks ahead like it's all fine, as if he didn't redraw the line between routine and something more, between the joke and metaphor. Next to you would not be bad, the voice still echoing like mad. If bunkmates were a lottery, would you still pick awkward me? If the quake was not pretend, would we end up hand to hand under sheets of plastic white? Would your smile still feel this bright? You cracked a line and left it there, but now I dream in folding chairs. A one-liner, a single breeze, now I'm knocked down to my knees. And every joke you let slip through becomes my favorite deja vu. They say don't run, don't talk, don't move, stay in line and don't approve. But you broke every rule I had with words so light they hurt so bad. And if they ask what made me sweat, it's not the sun, it's what I get from hearing you say like it's prank that you'd still want me at your flank. Next to me you said in jest, but now my pulse won't let me rest. Evacuated, yes, but where? Still stuck beneath that casual care. Forget the drills, forget the bell. You whispered something I won't tell. A fantasy in uniform where warnings turn to something warm. You lit a fire without intent, now I rehearse what you just meant. Lunch bell rings, my bag feels light. Reality check, I lost that fight. Forgotten box, forgotten pride. I fake a grin but want to hide. I stare at desks with perfect stacks, colorful lunches, heart attacks. The growl inside me roars the truth. This day's devoured half my youth. Then he turns with chopsticks raised, a sideways glance that left me dazed. Want a bite? I've got too much. He says it cool, not making much. Tamago slide, then shrimp on rice. He portions peace like it's precise. Cedar crash, he calmly warns, while I combust in lunchtime. Thorns. How do I eat with a heart this loud? Each bite's a spark in midday crowd. Gratitude stuck in my throat as he laughs at my flustered note. This isn't lunch, it's full-blown war. whispered thanks, voice high and thin, like soy sauce spill across my skin. My lunchbox goes to tragic tale, but he just laughs and lifts the veil. No teasing words, no pity eyes, just teriyaki and surprise. A hero with a bento tray, not caped in red, but plain and gray. Yet somehow under school daylight, he glows like anime at night. He doesn't even seem aware that every bite shifts more than air. That kindness can combust this way, that tempera makes hearts obey. He stacks my plate with modest moves, my pulse spikes past what science proves. He nods once, you'll need the fuel, and I'm not equipped for cool. How can he say that line so clear while I combust from ear to ear? This lunch is now a full ordeal, a romance dipped in stainless steel. The chopsticks click, I hold my breath, savoring crumbs like sudden death. He feeds me sneeze, and I collapse in sweetened soy and memory traps. My thank you cracked, my thoughts a mess. No guidebook for this tenderness. Later I'll pretend it's small, an act of sharing, that is all. But deep inside I'll still replay each bite that stole my pride away. Next time I'll bring my own, I swear, and still wish he'd offer to share. Not for hunger, not for show, but for the heat I didn't know. Bento crisis, unexpected. Hard digestion, unprotected. He gave me food, I lost my script. Lunch turned legend, balance tipped. If love's a taste, it might be this. A subtle smile, a lunchtime bliss. So next time when I sit and eat, I'll watch his hands, not just the meat. Because somehow in fish and rice, he fed me more than just advice.
Please report to the office now.
My name rang out, echoed somehow. Eyes turn, whispers zip through air. What did I do? I'm not even sure I care. Books in hand, heart in throat. Feet take flight, mind afloat. Corridor blurs, a silent sprint till he shows up like a hint. He grins, what crime did you commit? His timing absolutely perfect misfit. And I, just a glitch in my reply, a scrambled laugh, averted eye. Jokes aren't laws, but still they hit. And my pulse full speed counterfeit. He walks on like it's a breeze, while I'm knee deep in heart disease. Intercoms and butterflies, why do both come without goodbyes? Static echoes, hallway flight, but his smile that steals the spotlight. Did you mess up? He teases light, and now I'm sweating in mid-flight. What did I do? Who even knows? Except my face in full blush shows. This isn't just a faculty call, it's emotional freefall. Clocks tick, loud sneakers squeak. My name replayed fills mystique. What have I done? Who'd I offend? Will they expel me for this trend? But louder still, his laugh remains. That one-liner inside my veins, repeating like a guilty chime while I'm stuck rewinding time. I'm not sure how to walk with grace. chopsticks raised, a sideways glance that left me dazed. Wanna bite, I've got too much. He says it cool, not making much. Time ago, slide, then shrimp on rice. He portions peace like it's precise. Eat or crash, he calmly warns, while I combust in lunchtime thorns. How do I eat with a heart this loud? Each bite's a spark in midday crowd. Gratitude stuck in my throat as he laughs at my flustered note. This isn't lunch, it's full-blown war between my brain and something more. He shares a bite, I lose my stance. Why does kindness feel like chance? I wisp and thanks, voice high and thin, like soy sauce spilled across my skin. My lunchbox ghost, a tragic tale, but he just laughs and lifts the veil. No teasing words, no pity eyes, just teriyaki and surprise. A hero with a bento tray, not caped in red but plain and gray. Yet somehow under school daylight, he glows like anime at night. He doesn't even seem aware that every bite shifts more than air. That kindness can combust this way, that tempera makes hearts obey. He stacks my plate with modest moves, my pulse spikes past what science proves. He nods once, you'll need the fuel, and I'm not equipped for cool. How can he say that line so clear, while I combust from ear to ear? This lunch is now a full ordeal, a romance dipped in stainless steel. The chopsticks click, I hold my breath, savoring crumbs like sudden death. He feeds me peace and I collapse in sweet and soy and memory traps. My thank you cracked my thoughts a mess. No guidebook for this tenderness. Later I'll pretend it's small, an act of sharing, that is all. But deep inside I'll still replay each bite that stole my pride away. Next time I'll bring my own, I swear, and still wish he'd offer to share. Not for hunger, not for show, but for the heat I didn't know. Bento crisis unexpected, hard digestion unprotected. He gave me food, I lost my script. Lunch turned legend, balance tipped. If love's a taste, it might be this, a subtle smile, a lump sign bliss. So next, so when I sit and eat, I'll watch his hands, not just the meat, because somehow in fish and rice, he fed me more than just advice. Wrong answers in graphite ray, crossed out words that won't explain. I crumpled pride with trembling hand, launch regret like castle sand. A perfect toss, a tragic arc, straight to him like fate's remark. It landed soft as desk is space, and time collapsed upon my face. I gasped a breath, too late to catch a paper trap, a perfect match. He raised an eyebrow, barely peaked, my brain combusted, logic leaked. Before he read, I sprinted near, my voice a squeak, not loud, not clear. He looked at me, then softly grinned, I'll keep it secret, carried by wind. Who taught the breeze to aim so well? My silent scream began to swell. Confession, no disaster piece, yet still he smiled with perfect peace. A code red crush now classified by death, by smirk, by violet tide. My pulse wrote pages he won't see, but he just winked and set them free. What did he read? What did he guess? That grin's a sign sealed GPS. It wasn't love, not really right, just doodles lost to paper's blight. No hearts, no names, no deadly proof, just notes that echoed teenage truth. But now his desk's a crime scene bare, and I'm the one who placed it there. The wind conspired, the sun approved, and now my seat feels slightly moved. like a shield, and in that line my fate was sealed. Who trained the air to play with fate, to send my pulse through heaven's gate? A whisper's worth of scribbled ink now makes me blush before I blink. He guards my flaws like fragile gold, and with that grin I lost control. I'm not exposed, not fully seen, but now he knows where I have been. And maybe, just a little bit, he liked the chaos, I admit. I'll never know what caught his eye, the scribbled mess or something shy, but still I breathe beneath that truth, a letter signed by storm and used. Maybe I'll write a cleaner one, or maybe that mess was the fun. If secrets bloom where papers land, then maybe fate has shaky hands. So let the wind conspire again to twist my day like cherry rain. Let blunders fall like paper planes. If he's the one who softly claims, I'll keep your chaos safe with me, when maybe that's my diary key. A smell, a desk, a breeze, a grin. My world got hacked from deep within. One note escaped but left behind a heartbeat's edge in paper signed. Blank stares on a printed page, highlighters fading, locked in a cage. Numbers swim like they mock me back, every word a blur in black. The clock is loud, the silence bold, and I feel dumber growing old. Then your hand, a subtle glide, points to notes where thoughts collide. No permission, no grand show, just a whisper dipped in low. Look at mine, it's kinda neat, that tone alone knocked off my seat. Not the formulas, not the charts, but your voice rewrote my heart. Echoed louder than the bell, and I still hear it clear as spell. Why did that one sentence glow in a room where time ran slow? You gave me more than words could mean, in between the math unseen. No fireworks, no symphony, but I swear you rewrote me. A single phrase in lowercase, now life's on loop inside this space. You taught me more in just 5 beats than textbooks scream in printed sheets. My pen kept tracing empty skies. I underlined my own disguise. Every fact, a paper wall, falling in a silent sprawl. But you saw through the camouflage, lent your script like sabotage. Your messy lines, your thoughtful scroll, were louder than my honor roll. You didn't blink, you didn't boast, just held out learning like a ghost. Your kind is laced with quiet tone, felt warmer than my coat alone. No teacher caught it, no one stared, just us, a second gently shared. Use this page, you'll get it fast. You made that moment somehow last. Why did that one sentence shine like you'd rehearsed it just for mine? A chapter written out in breath, so close it nearly scared me half to death. No gold star, no neon cue, but it stuck like morning dew. A tiny thing you didn't know would steal the show, would overflow. Forget the quiz, the test, the grade. Your voice is what I've replayed. If memory were ruled in ink, you wrote right on my missing link. The margin that I tried to fill, you drew across it calm and still. No flashcards in your melody, just tone dipped in sincerity. And every time my mind gets stuck, your voice becomes my mental luck. Why do your notes still stay with me? Not just facts but empathy. You taught me hope beneath the line where sturdy met a human sign. No lesson plan, no lecture mic, just something real I kinda like. Next time I fail, I'll hear it too. Use this page, it might help you. And maybe just between the like drifting dreams, lanterns swinging over beams, nervous steps on cobbled ground, till your voice becomes my sound. Don't get left behind, you said, half a smirk and tilted head, like a scene from manga's page. Suddenly I'm center stage. You lead, I chase, no script, no cue, cherry flags and temple view, but your back becomes a thread, pulling me through what lies ahead. In this alley, narrow, sweet, with stalls and strangers on repeat, you'll smile like a story start and turn my panic into art. Not a field trip, not a guide, but a plot twist I can't hide. This city's loud with charm and spice, but all I see is your advice. Stay close wasn't just a line, it rewrote all that once was mine. Postcards hung like laundry bright, tourists soaking neon light. I was spinning, fading fast, stuck between the crowd and past. But your laugh, a guiding bell, woke me from that glassy shell. A compass in a checkered shirt, who didn't mind a little dirt. We passed by sweets and golden gates, I counted steps and skipped mistakes. No hand was held, yet I was led through thoughts I hadn't fully read. You didn't turn to check or stare, but every stride said I'm aware, like fate had planned this lazy route where silence learns to shout. In this alley, rich and bold, with flavors warm and paper fold, you turned the map into a scene and made the gray turn evergreen. No history, no ancient sign could rival how you realigned my ordinary plotless day into a script I'd gladly play. Your offhand line, so light, so sly, turn where am I to who am I? Call it shallow, call it sweet, but that smirk knocked me off my feet. In one breath, the world reset, the street became a silhouette of futures I had never guessed, of pages I had left unpressed. Don't get lost, too late, I did, but not in lanes and things you hid. In this alley, drenched in spring, with every glance my heart took wing. You weren't a guide, you were a spark that lit my shadows, cleared the dark. A class trick framed in fantasy, where you're the plot, the twist, the key. No ancient bell, no temple drum could beat the way you made me come back to myself. But newly drawn, a girl whose world just turned to dawn. Whistle shrieks, we're off the line. Sunlight flickers, noon past prime. Heartbeat sings with pounding shoes. This is it, no time to lose. Breathless steps on crimson tracks, sweat like diamonds down my back. Crowd is roaring, flags are high, still your figure draws my eye. Hand outstretched, the baton near, fingers brush my thoughts unclear. In that second, silence dropped, time stood still, then swiftly popped. But you weren't looking back at me, your eyes were chasing someone free. Up in the stand, she waved her hand, and just like that, I lost my stand. I gave my all, gave you the flame, but you were playing a different game. Was I just one step in your dash, a flash that fades, a short-lived clash? My breath caught fire, but not for gold, not for the cheers or records told, just for that gaze that passed. feels as bright or full. I'm chasing echoes on a loop while you just leap through every hoop. Was it just a misread line? A false start in this heart of mine. Still I run, though not for you, for the truth I never knew. I gave my best, gave you the flame. Still unaware you dodged the blame. You aim beyond my finish sign at something never truly mine. But even now I'm not ashamed to say I cared, no need for names. I ran with heart, I ran with pride, even if you looked to the side. Scissors snip and paper flutters, chatter weaving through paint splatters. Posters bloom on every wall. We're building dreams before the fall. You stood there with a brush in hand, sketching skies and shifting sand. But in the center, bold and wide, my favorite shade you tried to hide. You called it just a fluke, a slip, with that crooked little grin on your lip. And I just smiled and said, so strange, while my heart rewrote the color range. It's not the shade that caught my breath, but how you knew me depth by depth. Behind your laugh, behind the mess, was something I could never guess. Paint-stained fingers, evening light. We stayed past class, well past night. He hummed along a silly tune, like summer stayed in that classroom. I wanted words, but none would start. My voice was stuck somewhere near heart. He said coincidence, nothing more, and I just nodded like before. You called it just a fluke, a slip, with that crooked little grin on your lip. And I just smiled and said, so strange, while my heart rewrote the color range. It's not the shade that caught my breath, but how you knew me depth by depth. Behind your laugh, behind the mess, was something I could never guess. If I could shout in neon tones, would you hear what's left unsown? If I painted all I feel, would you think it's less than real? I don't need a masterpiece, just a sign you see through peace, that even if it's just by chance you notice me. Moonlight spills like lemonade. Cherry blossoms softly fade. I spot you standing near the gate. Same old time, same platform, fate. My bag feels heavy, heart feels light, but courage slips beneath the flight of pigeons dancing on the stone. And once again I'm walking alone. You look back, not at me, maybe just the cherry tree. Your shadow stretches down the track. I bite my tongue and don't look back. The gap is narrow, just 3 strides, but my pulse trips, then collides with all the things I couldn't say in all the springtime swept away. 3 steps from maybe, 1 breath from bold, but I freeze like the wind turned cold. You're near enough to reach, and yet that last few feet still breeds regret. I tell myself next time I'll try, as you drift off like morning sky. Not far, not close, just in between. I seem too real to be unseen. The train arrives with distant chime. You check your watch like every time. I match your pace, a quiet chase, but never dare to share the space. You scratch your head, adjust your sleeve, a small unconscious perfect tease. And though my fingers twitch to wave, I walk the edge like I'm half brave. 3 steps from maybe, 1 breath from bold, but I freeze like the wind turned cold. You're near enough to reach, and yet that last few feet still breeds regret. I tell myself next time I'll try, as you drift off like morning sky. Not far, not close, just in between. A scene too real to be unseen. It's not fear, it's just too bright. Too much bloom in morning light. If I called out and you turned round, would silence be the only sound? Maybe it's not yet our page. Maybe I'm still mid-stage. But even if you never knew, I still walked those thoughts to you. 3 steps from maybe, 1 breath from bold, in a spring too sweet to hold. You never saw the war inside of all the words I had to hide. And even though I let you pass, you're still the thought I walk with last. Not gone, not mine, just in between, like cherry petals in routine. 3 steps from maybe, I held my ground in silence loud as subway sound. You were the note I didn't play, the almost choice I shelved today. But next time I won't let it slip, won't let fear bite through my lip. Till then I'll walk beside the scene. 3 steps from maybe and 17. Thumbs tap fastened in neon light. Group chat blooming through the night. Stamps and jokes in steady stream. Pixel fireworks on every screen. I saw his name, a flashing dot, a tiny thrill, a hopeful thought. But when he typed, it wasn't me. His message bloomed beneath her meme. I laughed along, just like the rest. Posted pics and did my best, but each reply he left behind drew sharp lines inside my mind. My message sank unseen, ignored, while hers got likes and hearts galore. I closed the app with trembling grace, pretending I was fine just in case. Scrolling through a maze. glows, a message meant for someone close. It's just a chat, not real, not true. A sea of faces, nothing new. But in that flood, he found her wave, and I just smiled and tried to behave. I typed a lol, then hit delete. The words too fake, the sting too sweet. Excuses form like clouds in spring. It's just today I start to sing. Scrolling through a maze of jokes, dodging all the subtle pokes. He's there but not for me to find. His fingers dancing on her line. I wanna scream, it's not that deep, but truth has ways it likes to seep. I shut the light, but still it glows, a message meant for someone close. Maybe she was just more fun. Maybe I was just the quiet one. Maybe I read into pixels wrong, but silence makes assumptions strong. Was I too slow to try to blend? Too scared to type with trembling hand? While she just shines, all ease and glow, and I just scroll and never show. Scrolling through the noise and signs, pretending all the laughs were mine. He typed like she had pulled a thread, while I replayed his words instead. I say it's fine, I say who cares? But envy's hanging in the air, a silent war I can't expose with typing ghosts and typing woes. Scrolling through the neon night, I fake the fun but lose the fight. He's only 3 seats left of me, but miles apart digitally. And if he knew, what would he say? Would he just type, you'll be okay? Or would he scroll right past this verse, not knowing how much thumbs can hurt? White paper taped to hallway glass, our names aligned first and last. I trace the ink like sacred script, a tiny thrill, a silent grip. I stood so close, my pulse on fire, his name beside mine, one rank higher. A win I swore I'd proudly claim, but then I saw her say his name. She laughed like bells, so effortless, while I just froze in my success. He turned to her, that easy grin, like I was glass, like I blend in. My throat betrayed the words I meant, congrats unspoken, never sent. My lips were still, my fingers tight. The moment passed without a fight. I reached the top, but lost my place. He smiled past me, no trace, no grace. What's glory worth if left unheard? What's ranked to one who lost her words? Ooh, the numbers rise, my heart falls flat. I wanted high, not stats like that. He stood so near, in perfect light, but I just vanished from his sight. Ooh. The crowd moved on and so did he, while I stood stuck in victory. It wasn't pride I hoped to show, just did you see, just thought you'd know. She touched his arm, he didn't mind. They laughed like they were intertwined, and I just watched the letters blur while swallowing the cheer for her. I reached the top, but lost my place. He smiled past me, no trace, no grace. What's glory worth if left unheard? What's ranked to one who lost her words? Oh, the numbers rise, my heart falls flat. I wanted high, not stats like that. He stood so near, in perfect light, but I just vanished from his sight. Woo. It wasn't that I came to win. I studied hard to stand with him, but paper can't hold what you feel when what you want won't sign the deal. If I could speak just once, just loud, would it cut through the bustling crowd? Would he turn and hear my name? Not on the list, but lit in flame. I reached the top, but stayed unknown. He laughed with her and I walked home. My silent head, my heavy gold, a mellow I could never hold. The banner screamed, you made it through, but all I wanted was me to break the score, to drop the guys, to see myself inside his eyes. I reached the top, but missed my cue. Success without a spotlight view. I passed the test, but failed the part where winning's measured in the heart. His name was close, our paths aligned, but joy it seems is not a sign. So next time I might dare to speak before the moment turns antique. Woo-hoo. Field trip, sun, a perfect sky. We lined up knee beneath July. The teacher calls, say cheese aloud. 1,000 pixels caught the crowd. I stood behind him, breath held tight, so close he almost brushed my right. One shutter blink and time stood still, a frozen frame against my will. His eyes were fixed, but not on me. The girl in front laughed carelessly. He leaned a bit, his smile lit, and I was background just a bit. No flash could shift the way he faced. No lens could move me into place. Still I smiled like it was fine, while cropping out my wishful spine. Save the photo to my phone, though it left me all alone. He was there but not aware of shadows cast by his own stare. I tapped keep with steady hand, pretending I could understand that in this scene of 32 he saw just one, and it wasn't you. My friend said, look, you're right behind. I forced a laugh and played the kind, but in that frame I couldn't miss the gap between what is and wish. I zoomed and found our inches wide, not in space but deep inside. The girl in front wore joy with ease, while I was air between the trees. Save the photo to my phone, though it left me all alone. He was there but not aware of shadows cast by his own stare. I tapped keep with steady hand, pretending I could understand that in this scene of 32 he saw just one, and it wasn't you. I wonder if he ever knew the half smile I was hiding through. If I'd moved left or said his name, would I have altered just the frame? But no one edits a real regret, so I just scroll and then forget. Except I don't, I never do, I just rename it something new. Save the moment, pixel bound, though I stood on no one's ground. Behind the laughs, behind the light, I faded from his line of sight. Still I pressed that screen with grace and hid behind that capture page, like being there was close enough for hearts to play pretend with love. Saved the moment, locked it tight, filed it under not quite right. He won't see what I won't send, the silent click I can't defend. But next time I might change my cue, not stand behind but break right through. Till then I smile, erased and neat, one step behind but never beat.
Slip beneath my desk,
was fast. He turned his head and called out someone else instead. Her name, so light it cracked my chest, like I was paused between the rest. He smiled her way as if I'd gone, and I was left to carry on. 1 second felt like full-blown fate, but he was running 5 beats late. To see the signs, to feel the stir, he looked at me but called for her. That tiny cube now back in hand became a weight I couldn't stand. A moment mine, a name not heard, lost in the space between 2 words. I placed it back inside my case, a trophy of misplaced grace, while echoes played inside my brain like chalkboard smeared with phantom names. He joked with her near windowsill, while I stayed locked in silence still. The bell rang out, the chairs were pushed, but in my ribs the noise just whooshed. 1 second felt like full-blown fate, but he was running 5 beats late. To see the signs, to feel the stir, he looked at me but called for her. That tiny cube now back in hand became a weight I couldn't stand. A moment mine, a name not heard, lost in the space between 2 words. If names were threads and hearts were seams, then mine unraveled at his speech. Not cruel, not cold, just unaware that I was standing over there. He gave me back what I had dropped, but not the part where breath had stopped. Just one soft line and silence bled, while someone else danced in my head. 1 second barely marked at all, but deep enough to make me fall. He meant no harm, he had no clue, but I still flinched at shades of blue. A name's a spark, a name's a bell, and mine just echoed into shell. I took the cube and drew a line between his smile and never mind. 1 second burned like solar flares, but he looked past not knowing stares. And though my rant still held the proof, my voice stayed locked beneath the roof. Next time I'll drop more than a tool, a line, a joke, a broken rule. But till then, Addie played Big Blur, where he said yours and looked at her. Chairs scrape back, the echo rings, the clubroom hums with mundane things. He laughs with senpai shoulder close, while I rehearse what no one knows. I grip my script, pretend to read the scene I want, the line I need. But he's too deep in senior tales, and I just watch the moment fail. My cue was lost 5 lines ago, swallowed by his practice glow. They talk like equal, smooth and fast, while I dissolve into the past. I cleared my throat, no one turned. Another silence gently burned. He's here but not in reach or range, and I'm the static left from change. In this room, my voice won't play like background noise that fades away. He sees the ones with louder lines, while I stay stuck between the signs. I don't need spotlight, don't need stage, just one reply, just one small page. But every time I try to speak, the walls just sigh and creak and creak. The curtain rises, lights go red. I mouth the part I should have said, but he's mid-laugh, his guard is down, and I just spin my silent crown. Even when I try to fake a joker step that he could take, just be caught in feedback loops of almost said. Would I regret the words instead? I'm not invisible, just low on every dial he doesn't know. But maybe someday I'll shout bright and steal a frame inside his light. In this room I trace my sound in margins where I won't be found. He laughs so close yet drifts so far, like chasing echoes through a jar. Still I rehearse, still I refine the perfect line, the perfect sign. One day this whisper might ignite and rewrite shadows into light. In this room my silence sings with future fire and paper wings. If he can't hear me, that's okay. I'll make the walls tilt back one day, no longer hiding in the scene. I'll voice the script I dare to dream until the silence finally breaks and every quiet ripple wakes. Beneath the golden Jinko flare, I checked my phone without a care. Notifications, usual spam, but one line froze me where I am. Subject 17-year-old you, sender me just farther through. I blinked, I laughed, I almost cried, then tapped before the fear could hide. Her word spilled out like autumn rain, typed clumsily but full of pain. You're scared, she wrote, I know that face, but don't you dare slow down your pace. She told of dreams I haven't dreamt, of breach of brands and rules unbent, of nights I'd scream into a wall and still get up to risk it all. You'll fail, she said, but so away, and still you'll fight to find your way. Your art, your rage, your quiet glare, all of it matters, all is rare. She listed names I've yet to meet, a cat I'd find, a friend I'd keep, and through the code, the text, the screen, I felt the warmth of what she means. Inbox for me and the maybe, tears hit fast and fell out crazy. No emoji, no cute flair, just one voice who truly cared. She didn't fix me, didn't preach, just reached through time with awkward speech. And as I scrolled, my fingers shook, that future me still knew my look. She said, you're stronger than you fear, so scream or sob and stay right here. A message timed like falling leaves, one breath I caught before it leaves. The teacher called, the bell had rung, but I just sat with air in lungs. The other world kept spinning by while I just whispered, who am I? She wrote, you won't be fully fine, but you'll rewrite your crooked line. And when it breaks, don't ask what for, just trust you're made to want much more. Inbox for me and the maybe, words that sang and shouted daily. A hug and text, a fight and type, a flame in folders full of light. She saw the me I'm scared to be and dared me not to try and flee. No sugar quotes, no perfect plan, just girl, go mess up while you can. Some mail cells closed, some screams in caps, but this one held my soul. Perhaps she didn't promise stars or ease, but stitched my name in future breeze. Dear me, she wrote, you're not a phase, your galaxy's in learning phase. So live too loud and love too strange, the world won't end if you derail the range. Inbox for someone real who knew the wounds I'd never feel, and yet believed I'd carry on, a stranger I've not yet become. I zoned out during history class while clocks and chalk just failed to pass. Then out the window, something wrong, a floating island soft and long. No one else saw, or so they said, too buried in their screens instead. But you looked up, your eyes went wide and whispered, next break, let's collide. You drew the map on notebook lines, I named it Zero Tardy Pines. A sky so close, so out of reach, yet we could taste its golden peach. Teacher asked me what was wrong. I mumbled something, played along, but in my head I packed my bag with comic books and orange flag. You said, tickets made of hope, and we rehearsed our weather scope. We traced the wind in lunchroom air and promise we pretend to care till Friday ends. The bell goes free and sky becomes our absentee. Absence approved, we're off to the sky, to a floating world they can't deny. While the others drag their feet in gray, we'll cut through clouds and stow away. This isn't myth, it's just not theirs. It's starlit stares and secret flares. We won't explain, we won't conform. We'll start a storm outside the norm. So when they ask where did you go, we'll say above what you all know. We'll sign our names in open air, two rebels lost but fully there. The chalk squeaked out a quiz again, but I just drew our launch domain. A pair of wings on graph sheet math and labeled it our sky lost path. You passed a note, I packed the tape. I wrote let's dodge this prison shape. We both agreed, no backup plan, just aim and leap and trust will land. Absence approved, we're off to the sky where rules dissolve and truths can fly. No grades, no norms, no hallway stairs, just ginkgo winds and gravity dares. They say we're weird, detached, unglued, but we're just bored of coming unviewed. So we'll explore where logic ends and write our own report to send. We'll list found joy on cloud-shaped cliff, fade, moonlight rise, then yell what if? And if we crash, then fine, we tried. At least we reached the other side. What if the island doesn't wait? What if it's just a twist of fate? I'd rather fall than never go, than sit through life in quiet row. So pack the string and break the frame. Let's leave this page, rewrite our name. They'll call it dream, they'll call it lie, but we'll be busy kissing sky. Absence approved, no need to lie. We're gone beyond where they define. No final bell, no hallway gate. We chose the stairs they can't locate. Absence approved, we're off to the sky to laugh where others fear to try. So if you see two shadows gone, we're not in class, we're off at dawn. They'll never get what made us run, but we saw sky and called it fun. So keep your seats, you'll grade your land. We're flying off, hand in hand. Bus stop 708, same sneakers running late. Clouds hung low like sleepy lace, and there he was, no rush, no chase. The coffee cup still warm, still bowl, steam curled like secrets left untold. He didn't glance, I didn't speak, but silence bloomed across my cheek. The cars went by in static fuzz, but something changed in what was us. I didn't know his name that well, but in that pause I couldn't tell. The scent hit first, black roast, no cream. It filled the cold like half a dream. He stood so still, his eyes half shut. A weekday poem, uncut, no playlist played, no words were shared, and yet it felt like both had cared. His breath a cloud, mine tried to match, like rhythms tapping window latch. He sipped, I blinked, our shadows bent across the ground like soft cement. And I just thought, don't break the scene. The world was loud, but we were clean. Caffeine in the space between, two strangers paused in morning sheen. No talk, no spark, no firestorm, just warmth where silence felt like form. I didn't need a perfect line or hearts drawn out in pink design. I just breathed in his little world and let my own for once unfurl. Some stories start without a plot, just half a glance and coffee shot. So if you ask what moved me then, it wasn't what, but where and when. I saw his thumb tap on the lid, a nervous tick he always hid. That one small beat told me enough. He's not unread, just wrapped in stuff. He never looked, I never tried, but morning hummed with something wide. We didn't flirt, we didn't play, but something rooted in that gray. Caffeine in the space between where words don't interrupt the scene. We stood, we breathed, no label pressed. Two humans paused and not distressed. It wasn't love or not just that. It was the click where nothing sat. Too loud to name, too soft to lose. Like standing still inside your shoes. So if they ask what changed my pace, it was a scent and shared still space. Maybe next time he'll glance my way, maybe not, and that's okay. Some moments bloom and stay unsaid, but echo deep inside your holds me when I fade unseen. I didn't wave, I didn't go, but in that stillness something spoke. Caffeine in the space between, where normal days feel near serene. We may not date, we may not kiss, but this was real, don't call it bliss. Call it the moment hearts align in early light with no design. So let the bell and engine scream, I'm wide awake inside this dream. I clicked too deep, beyond the threads where 404s were ghostly threads. A link that blinked in glitchy gold said enter here, admit, behold. A school not drawn on any map where lectures loop and screens clap back. I filled my name with shaking hand and pressed enroll on dreamless land. Now every night at 12 a door sharp, I log into a neon arc where classmates float, no eyes, no age, and every test unlocks a cage. My avatar's not me at all. She walks in heels, she talks so tall. She answers questions I would dodge and owns the room like glowing fog. They call me 0xi3 and I'm the queen of logic scene. I solve equations with a flare and dueling windows midair. Yet when I blink, I see my desk. My window small, my hair a mess. But that girl in the midnight blue, she feels more me than I ever knew. Midnight me, enrolled digitally in a place where I can finally breathe. No uniforms, no hallway glares, just binary dreams and lucid stares. They don't ask why I sit alone, they just upgrade my thought tone. I code my rage, I skin my fear, and every night I reappear. They'll never see this side of me, but I am real, virtually. So while the world keeps calling fake, I build a self they cannot break. The principle's a cloud of sound. She teaches us to not be found, while shadows tutor empathy and files disguised as poetry. I keep a folder, future plans, insider stars and burning fans. A dorm that changes when I dream, a mirror class in moonlight scheme. And while my real self types and hides, my ghost self dances glitchy strides. I laugh too loud, I dare too big, and never once must fake or dig. Midnight me, enrolled digitally, where freedom comes in ask a glee. I build a castle, write my script, and zeros bold and circuits flipped. I cheat on silence, skip the shame, and every login knows my name. I pass the test no school would give, to learn how lost kids choose to live. I still wake up at 6 a.m. and pretend I'm just another STEM, but deep inside I know, I swear, I've danced in code and lit the air. Let them laugh, let teachers grade, they'll never see what I've remade. Cause in that school beyond the stream, I'm not a glitch, I'm my own dream. Midnight me, a hidden thread, still lingers when I go to bed. She holds my hand from pixel light and whispers you survive the night. Midnight me, enrolled digitally, and now I shine intentionally. No more fake smiles or silence kept. I'm logs and stars and tears I wept. This isn't game, this isn't lie. It's how a girl refused to die. So if you find a blinking gate, don't knock, just click, you might. We spawned inside a glitch-torn square with pixel skies and fractured air. The city moaned in neon code and echoes of what we once owed. You held my hand, or was it light? A wireframe ghost with skin too bright. We climbed through ads and broken laws with memory shards like shattered jaws. Our names half loaded, faces blur. Each click might crash what we prefer, but in this junkyard made of mind, we still believed in what we find. A tower made from search bar lies, a staircase lined with lullabies. We found a room with looping days. It showed my dog from second grade. You said like me, but 10 years old. 404 memory not found, but I am running wild through broken program. This place forgets, but we recall the glitch that made us feel at all. Our minds are files they tried to kill, but hearts reboot without a pill. We're not just ones and zeros torn, we're teenage ghosts in cyberstorm. No exit map, no label street, just echo code beneath our feet. Still every line we dare to trace becomes our password out of place. A vending bot gave cryptic tea, said pain is proof of legacy. We drank, we laughed, we hacked a bridge and crossed to reach the skyline's ridge. I saw your tears behind your grill, you said the logout's deep within. We searched in code, we searched in tone, but every hint said we're not alone. This city's made from all we missed, our texts unsent, our friends unkissed. Yet in this mess you reached and spoke, let's fail together till we woke. 404 memory not found, but I am shouting loud in stolen exam. They wrote us off, they made us laugh, but we turned trash into our flag. Our scars and dream they can't wipe. In code we type the crush. This red, this war, this wall is loud, and we're not lost, we're tried to fail. We built our loss, we're just too proud. What if escape was never real? What if this maze is how we heal? You looked at me, said that's okay, then let's make here our holiday. What if escape was never real? What if this maze is how we heal? You looked at me, said that's okay, then let's make here our holiday. 404 memory not found, but I stay tracing us in static ballet. If we must walk a world unraid, then let us trudge we ride instead. 404 memory not found, but I scream. We are the glitch inside the dream. Let every bite they try to break become the beat we choose to make. So burn the map, distort the sky. This broken light is all not why. We'll find the door, or we create the code that bends the hands of fate. Math class 204, my pen just froze. Then gravity said goodbye, I suppose. The floor unzipped, the sky pulled near, and Tokyo shrank like it had fear. Desks afloat and blackboards bend, a hallway stretch where clouds extend. We floated up, the chalk let go, and homeroom kissed the wind below. No warning bell or safety guide, just uniforms on upward ride. And I, still holding yesterday, now stood above the Milky Way. You grabbed my hand at stairwell's bend, said guess this isn't just pretend. The teacher's voice turned to a song, and suddenly the wrong felt strong. We passed a cloud that wore our names, a pigeon clapped like sagging flames. You pointed east, I spun around, my tie became a comet's sound. The lunchbox flew, my phone got light, but somehow all of this felt right. And all I said was don't look down, while skirt hems fluttered like a crown. Altitude, high school, we're flying wild. Each textbook floats, each thought goes styled. No walls, no rules, no locked-in bell, just sky and stairs and rebel spell. We're uniforms with star designs, we jump on clouds and call them signs. This isn't dream, this isn't play, it's every wish that slipped our way. So let them ground what they don't see, but I'm a girl with gravity free. The wind became my after school, and life rewrote its quiet rule. We raced through physics in the breeze, took selfies on electric trees. You held my laugh like catching light, and dared the sun to blink just right. A drone flew by, confused and stunned. We waved like kids who just outrun the weight of Monday form and test. Instead we took a skyward rest, our shadows danced on clouds below. My hair forgot which way to blow, and I just whispered, can we stay? You smiled and said, let's fly away. Altitude high school, now we reign. A royal court in pink champagne. We passed the moon in PE class, and watched old fears like comets pass. No one to grade, no light feels brand new. Maybe we'll land, maybe we won't. Maybe we're myths that Earth just won't recall or test, define or frame. But altitude rewrites my new. Maybe we'll land, maybe we won't. Maybe we're myths that Earth just won't recall or test, define or frame. But altitude rewrites my name. Maybe we'll land, maybe we won't. Maybe we're myths that Earth just won't recall or test, define or frame. But altitude rewrites my name. On Vetude High School, never gone. We wrote it once and it lives on. So when the bell pulls you below, just close your eyes and let it show. And a wolf still knows the way we spun when high school kissed the morning sun. And I still dance on that rooftop where life began and rules just stopped. The sky was cracked but softly blue. The news had stopped at channel 2. Sirens sighed like lullabies, but still we laughed beneath the skies. My uniform still wrinkled wrong. My pen cap chewed the bell too long. I passed a note, you caught it fast like nothing's ending, just a class. I knew the countdown ticked below in satellites and winter snow. But in your voice, the world stood still. A quiet charm, a stubborn will. You said good morning like you meant, not knowing how the atoms bent. That stars were cute to burst and burn, yet all I felt was your return. Your smile made the doomsday pale, your presence more than morning mail. You pulled a chair, you took your seat. The cosmos knelt at such a feat. Around us, whispers cracked the floor. A comet lurked behind the door, but all I saw was desk and grin and hearts that hummed like violins. Apocalypse, but make it homeroom with chalk and jokes that still resume. If this is end, then let it be a day that felt like poetry. No final speech, no asteroid, just you and me and time enjoyed. In every laugh, a shelter grows. In every high, the silence slows. So if we vanish, dust and stars, I'll still recall just who we are. Not screaming, no heroic stance, just one last bell and one last chance. You passed me gum like nothing's wrong. You played that playlist way too long. The sky turned red outside the blinds, but I just memorized your lines. The fire drills were not rehearsed, and yet this felt like living first. If earth must crack, if time must flee, then let it do so next to me. We signed our names on table wood, a timestamp carved in might have should. You said don't cry, we're here, we're whole, in every cell inside me you stole. Apocalypse, but make it homeroom where whispers drown in pending doom. You breathed, I blinked, we passed the note while galaxies began to float. No monuments or rockets blast, just memories me ate in class. You said good morning that I knew and could wait to honor you. The world collapsed in silent code, but love's a glitch they can't decode. They warned us loud, but we replied with quiet jokes and unchecked pride. So if this ends, so be the case. I'll draw your face in outer space. Apocalypse, but make it soft, like folding stars in teacher's loft. A day like any, yet not quite the kind you dream when fearing night. Apocalypse, but make it homeroom where laughter grows and cause A melon bread held change too tight. Same store, same beep, same neon light. But then it turned and blinked at me. A robo-cat near aisle 3, with eyes like stars and bending shade. It purred your chosen, don't be late. I laughed to me, just extra rice. But something sparked behind its eyes. A barcode flickered on its paw, and fate rewrote my urban law. You've passed the test, it calmly said, by buying snacks, rich gingerbread. The skies above began to bend. My cola fizz began to send. A code I'd never typed or seen. Unzip the clouds, revealed a screen. Your mission starts at 04 to save the world through 7 store. I choked, I stared, my bag just dropped. A gram I gawked, the school bus stopped. But deep inside a light went ding, as if I'd known I'd do this thing. Chosen by a vending cat bot, guess I'm not who I thought I was. My loyalty card just turned to blade, and now I run through pixel shade. No longer average after bell, I fight injustice near the shell of half-price dreams and flavor tea. My destiny's in aisle 3. They called me weird, too much, too shy, but robo-cats don't ever lie. So I will rise and scanner beep. The price of fate, it's never cheap. It handed me a neon map with cryptic quests and sandwich traps. A ramen ghost, a cola thief, my allies too, receipts and grief. We race through alleys filled with code, where laws and logic overload. I paused to breathe, you grabbed my hand and said, let's glitch this normal land. Chosen by a vending cat bot, my student card just got hot. I slide through time and check out things, but fading glue and plastic wings. No parents know, no teachers care, but I've got snacks and solar flare. My homework's late, my grades are toast, but I'm the glitch they fear the most. I asked it once, why me, not them? It twitched and said, because you stem from chaos, charm, and subtle rage, the kind that cracks a normal cage. So now I ride on floating trains through data storms and checkout lanes. And maybe I was made for more than whispers in convenience store. Chosen by a vending cat bot, a truth that loyalty forgot. In barcode light, I found my spark, a rebel girl inside the dark. Chosen by a vending cat bot, now every fear is what I want. I'm scanning through what can't be sold with fist of fire and cups of bowl. No prophecy, no magic scroll, just lunch receipts and stolen rolls. And if I fall, remember this, I dance with fate and citrus fizz. Midnight ink on page 14, a scribble heart, a diary scene. You came again in velvet light, a stranger carved from stars and night. You said this time, let's run, not fall. I chased your steps through mirrored halls, but morning screamed as always does. Alarm clocks kill what almost was. The coffee's cold, the toast is dry. Reality's a lowercase lie, yet still I write as if you're true. And maybe that makes me come through. Your voice was stitched with cotton thread, soft chaos tucked inside my head. We danced beneath electric moons and fed the clocks with silver spoons. Your hand was warm, or so it felt. My dream code blurred, my logic melt. And though you're pixels in my sleep, you're still the only thing I keep. I told you all my secrets blind. You answered back in glyphs and mind. We built a house of midnight threads where even tears wore glitter beds. But sunrise cracked it all apart and pulled me from your phantom heart. Still in my hand, the pen held tight, a trembling echo of the night. Dear Mr. M, the clock's unfair, but still I write you everywhere. In math class notes and lunch receipt, my heart's a loop I can't delete. I pass you notes through dream state dust. You answer with surrealist trust. No one believes a word I say, but I believe you every day. Say I'm lonely, strange or worse, that dreams are lies in poets' verse. But what's more fake, the so-called real, or you the only thing I feel? Dear Mr. M, I whisper low, you're everything the day won't show. In sleep you stay and light you go, but still I write you all to know. Dear Mr. M, I bleed in prose while chasing what the night still knows. You are the storm that doesn't rage, the truth I cage from outer stage. So here's my page, my soul, my scream. To you my myth, my Blank ink, blue lines, margin wide. Just drawing dragons while I hide. Math notes blur, the clock's too slow, so I sketch wings where numbers go. A flick, a tail, then eyes that blink. The total winks in carbon ink. Its claws crawl off the notebook edge and leap across the window ledge. I freeze, no gasp, my breath on mute. The dragon roars, then dons a suit. He bows and grins when tells my ken, let's worry this whirlwind to a done. My teacher drones in grayscale sound while unicorns invade the ground. A jellyfish floats through the hall while I just trace along the wall. Each scribbled star becomes a gate, each margin line a twist and fate. The ceiling cracks, reveals a sky where rules dissolve and pencils fly. My desk dissolves, the chalk ignites, the globe spins tales of phantom flights. And as my sketchbook eats the sun, the line between the lies is none. Sketch me out of here, I scream in curves, erase the grid, redraw my nerves. Reality was just a frame, now every scribble shouts my name. I'm dancing through my own design, a spiral made of what if lines. I'm more than skin, more than a grade, I'm art that won't behave or fade. So let me blur, let logic bend, where ink begins and ends depend. You think I'm gone, but I'm just more, a masterpiece you can't restore. My notebook hums like heartbeat fast as dinosaurs in gym class crash. A witch I sketched last week now grins, engrave my fear in phantom pins. I ride a whale through physics class, my drawing laughs through hourglass. This isn't dream, it's drawing done, where boredom breaks and chaos runs. Sketch me on a here, no straight lines. I fold my world through curving spines. I leap through color me miss the bus. 'Cause even rockets look less grand than painting signs with shaky hands. They fitted me for helmets leak, gave future clothes no room to tweak. But nothing beats a class debate on if we serve toast at the gate. We're building booths with tape and tears. We practice songs and stage our fears. I choreograph in gym hall heat while countdowns tick beneath my feet. I'll fly, I will, but not just yet. My soul's not done with earthbound sweat. The stars can wait till curtain falls. Let Mars hold back its protocol. My last fest will be for Mars. One final shot at chasing stars. Not red and far, but here and loud in glitter glue and screaming crowd. I'll trade my seat on Shuttle 9 for just one last chaotic line of classmates yelling, move the mic, in costumes taped with too much spike. They dream of domes and Martian breaks. I dream of lights and paper vests. So stamp my past, delay my flight. I'm Earth gold till the fest ignites. Rehearsals clash with launch day tests. My makeup melts in Martian vest. They talk of colonies and domes. I talk of jam on styrofoam. My teacher cried when I declined the chance to beam beyond mankind. But how can I just let this slide when we rehearse that scene with pride? My last festival before Mars. A war of glitter versus stars. I want the stage, not sterile labs. I want my friends, not pre-packed tabs. So cancel pods and countdown clocks. I've got to win best booth with frogs. I'll rock it later, fine, I swear. But first I need to dye my hair. And when I step on Martian clay with solar boots and dreams astray, I'll smile and say I brought the best, a culture fest beneath my vest. My last festival before Mars. Just neon lights and paper jars. They'll never know what joy we sparked before we left this dusty park. My last festival before Mars. Let aliens wait in flying cars. I'll dance beneath this earthly dome and bring that joy to my new home. I'm more than cargo, more than name. I'm glitter ink inside a flame. So if I fly, I'll leave behind a festival that shaped my mind. Dozed off between Shinagawa lights. Train hums soft like lullaby fights. Last I knew the ads were old. When I awoke the world was cold. No crowd, no screech, no transfer sign. Just neon trees and silent time. I stepped out, shoes still school approved. Into a street no soul had moved. Uniform sleeves and future breeze reflected off metallic seas. I clutched my bag like it was truth and walked through echoes of my youth. No vendors yell, no footsteps near. Just vending bots that sell new fear. My phone said date unknown, retry. My shadow stretched across the sky. A billboard blinked, it knew my name. Said welcome back as if I came from dreams I hadn't even had. Like someone missed me, kinda sad. I passed a school but made a glass. No laughter there, just looping class. A voice inside me whispered tight, you missed your stop but not your fight. Transfer to tomorrow please, where memories ride data breeze. I'm late for class in future streets, but somehow the skip still repeats. No one here but I feel seen by cities drawn in silver sheen. A girl alone yet not erased. My story's inked in vacant space. I'm not a glitch, I'm just in shift between a drift and sudden lift. So stamp my pass and let me stray. This future won't forget my way. I found a cafe, doors ajar. It played a song from Earth Bazaar. The seats were warm, the air was tea, as if the world remembered me. A mirror blinked, showed me in red, older eyes, but same old thread. I asked it why the world stood still. It said you dare to dream, that's will. Transferred to tomorrow fast, I chased the sun through time that passed. While everyone just goes in clocks, I ride through stations, time unlocks. I'm still in socks from gym class last, but somehow I've outpaced the past. I'm not confused, just new and free. I ride the line that rewrites me. Maybe I'll ride till cities bend. Maybe this trip will never end. But if you ever miss your stop, just blink and future might unlock. Transfer to tomorrow slow, where no one tells you where to go. I walk in shoes from yesterday, but they still tap the forward way. Transfer to tomorrow bold, my story's not what I was told. This train derailed, but now I see it. The track was always meant for me. No ticket back, no status clear, but I'm the girl who dared appear. So if you find my name in air, know I kept walking unaware. It fell at 4:09 p.m. A flash of white, a silver stem. I caught it mid-air just because it looked too wrong to not because. The school bell rang, but time bent slow as feather hummed a quiet glow. And then a voice inside my head said things no textbook ever said. You found it, so the link begins. It whispered through my daily sins. My steps now echoed more than twice, as if my mind became device. In chem lab I heard him laugh while scribbling notes in phony math. He told me things I shouldn't know, like how the world could overflow. He'd speak when lights would flicker faint in bathroom stalls. He'd whisper paint. He knew my name before I did, and told me where my fears were hid. Some say I snapped, some call it fate, but ever since that feathered gate, my world's a stage with phantom cues, and every thought wears stranger shoes. Feather X's installed in me, a file that hums so quietly. He speaks in glitch, in binary, and tells me what I'm meant to be. I'm just a girl in skirt and stress, but now I channel space's mess. His voice commands, but soft and clear. Become the one they're meant to fear. They can't decode this freaky bloom, but I'm in sync with feather tune. So laugh if you don't understand. I've got a ghost in every strand. He said he once had wings of glass, but burned them just to let me pass. Now I must carry what was dropped. A burden fate has never stopped. He sings in tones no phone can catch. In dreams he scratches out my patch. Each test I take he rearranges. The answers blink in cosmic ranges. Feather Xy, I run it raw. A broken code without a flaw. He's loud when I begin to cry, and soft when truth begins to lie. They think I'm just a drama queen, but I've stained chords behind the screen and fill his voice that isn't mine. I draw a map through this dance of sound and sky. I'll learn to ask the feather why. Feather Exil still here tonight, his whisper wrapped in subway light. I'm still unsure what's fake or free, but at least I'm finally me. Feather Exil, we ride the code through sparks Dust on dust, EX key's name. Bell rang twice, but no one came. She sat in corner shelf and smiled, like ghosts were just a reading style. Her bangs were straight, her tie was loose. She hovered near the binding screws. I dropped my book, she caught it light. Said page 87's my delight. Her voice was fog, but sharp with thought. She critiqued plot twists I forgot. We traded poems under breath, between the quiet and the death. She liked the books that no one touched, the tragic ones a little much. She said this ending makes me ache. I said I cried for chapter's sake. She never left, she never blinked, just sat where shadows softly sink. Each afternoon I came to hide. She'd wait for me with ghostly pride. I skipped my club, ignored the sun, for verses she declared as fun. And slowly I forgot to fear a specter who just loved Shakespeare. Library card for the dead, she wrote her notes in glowing red. Between the lines we found a thread of borrowed thoughts we both had said. They say she's gone, they say she's passed, but stories made our silence last. I wasn't scared, I was impressed, a ghost who proofread every quest. So let them call me strange or cursed. I've met a friend who read me first, and in this maze of paper skin, she's every plot I'm diving in. I found her name in checkout logs, dated 1980 dogs. She laughed and said, that's just a glitch, then quoted Austen line by stitch. Her pages held a rebel fire. She said no ghosts should just expire. If death's a pause, not curtain call, then read me loud, don't fear the fall. Library card for the dead, she whispered rhymes inside my head. Her margins full of secret jokes of haunted halls and inkwell poke. Our chapters crossed, our genres bled, a friendship stitched in words we read. She told me live with plots unclean, reality is far too lean. One day she said the last page nears, and disappeared through binding tears, but left behind a bookmarked heart. In every phrase we're not apart. Library card for the dead, still hear her hum as books are spread. Between the fiction and the fact, she's somewhere I can still react. Library card for the dead, she filled my silence line by thread. If ghosts exist in thought and line, then she's forever part of mine. So pass me books, I'll write her back in never falls and graph out track. They think I read to flee or cope, the truth is she gave me my hope. Up on the roof where the signals bite, Tokyo glows in pixel light. I type it out, what does it mean when his high feels like caffeine? The wind's too sharp, the sky too so sharp? Why does this bot sound so damn smart? Should I confess I send in stealth, expecting garbage, glitchy health? Instead it says if you regret, you'll rerun thoughts you won't forget. I throw my phone, it doesn't break. It's got more sense than I can fake. I pout your circuits, I'm a mess. It pings, then try, don't just suppress. Delete my feelings if you can. Rewrite this crush and data scan. You think you know my stupid mind? Well, maybe so, but that's not kind. Your logic burns, but hits too close. Predicts my blush, my highs and lows. I asked for help, not therapy, but now you've psychoanalyzed me. So fine, you win, I'm out of tricks. But love's not found in algorithmic clicks. Still thanks, I guess, for showing truth up here above this neon you. Suddenly quiet, no more buzz, just me and stars and all that was. I scroll up through the log I sent, it reads like poetry, half bent. Delete my feelings, try again, but you just mirrored back my brain. I hate that you reflect so well my inner chaos masked in shell. I wanted answers clean and slick, not questions dressed in logic slick, but you exposed the core I dodge with data like a mental scalpel lodged. Maybe I don't need you to choose or fix the way my pulse still bruises, but thank you, AI rooftop friend, for typing what I won't pretend. Delete my feelings, maybe not. You saw me more than I had thought, so I'll confess to skies and screen that being seen is not obscene. Delete my feelings, not a chance. They glitch and spoff, they dance, they dance. Or thinks this lake is crush, this fire, this messy code, this raw desire. He'll never know what you just said, but thanks to you I've leapt ahead. So cue the end or just restart. Love's not a file, it's beating heart. Sneakers sink in midnight grass. The field is dark, the sky's like glass. I'm not supposed to be out late, but silence feels like second fate. The scoreboard flickers like a ghost, and I'm the only one still closed. The gym's locked up, the hall's asleep, but stars above begin to leap. I spot the streak, a cosmic dash, like someone drew it in a flash. A line of fire, skyborn scream. I hold my breath and start to dream. They say to wish, but never loud. Just whisper when you're not too proud. So I clench my fists, avoid the tears, and tell the stars what no one hears. Make him see me just this once, not as the girl who sits and punts, but as the spark, the storm, the fight, the one who dances in the night. My voice is caught between my teeth, a prayer wrapped tight in glowing sheath. I laugh and spin, then close my eyes. Let meteors decode my lies. Starlight, confidential, found and fast. Before this fearless moment's past, I'm not the type to beg or bend, but stars don't judge, they just transcend sin. So keep my secret burning bright. Let every shard rewrite my night. I gave my truth to comet's flight and ran with it into the light. No one knows what unto the light. No one knows what I confess, but constellations got the rest. They carve my plea in solar threads, so even silence might be read. I run laps round this wishful court, each breath a dare, each step a sort. The bleachers watch, the shadows nod like fate applauds beneath a god. The grass so cold, my heart too loud, but I'm no longer doubt aloud. The sky responded, yes it blinked, and in that flash our lines were linked. Starlight, confidential, code and stars. My heart transmitted through the scars. I won't explain, I won't recite, but I believed in what felt right. So label me a girl too bold, who asked the sky to break the mold. I'm not afraid to burn a plan when stardust writes a better scan. Someday I'll laugh about this night, about that wish, that flash of light. But till that future folds me in, this moment loops beneath my skin. Starlight, confidential, soft and near. I stitched a dream the stars could hear. Not for the world, not for a crown, but for the me who won't back down. Streak of fire, fuel this quiet heart's desire. Even if no one else can tell, the stars and I, we whispered well. Tokyo's drowning, no big deal. We've swapped our wheels for navy teal. My skirt still sways above the tide as ferries beat from either side. The skyline's got a soggy trim, but we wear life as cute and slim. My homeroom floats by Tower 2 with seagulls knocking morning dew. They said adapt, so now we roll through flood maps printed weeks ago. And still my heart won't waterproof. It splashes hard when you're aloof. You sit starboard with perfect hair while I pretend I do not stare. Your paddle's rhythm mocks my chest, a tempo I can't second guess. The world's half sunk, but I still flush when you say hi in that soft hush. We dodge a buoy, drift too near, and my breath floods with atmosphere. My waterproof mascara bleeds. You joke forecast romantic needs. I wanna scream, but just say ha. This ocean's got no space for blah. Love buoyancy, I'm not prepared to float through crushes undeclared. But in this wet apocalypse, I chase your grin through tidal slips. We pass the school with anchors deep. Our hearts like currents never sleep. They say the city's lost and gone, but love like mine just floats right on. So row with me through flooded class. Let laughter leak from every glass. No drought in nerves, no dim of sense. Just waveforms crashing consequence. My backpack's lined with fishproof glue, but feelings still keep breaking through. You lend me socks still damp from rain, and suddenly I'm whole again. The earth may boil, the maps may blur, but I still blush when you say sir to teachers rowing in their ties, while we just swap our sci-fi size. Love buoyancy, don't pull me down. I wear this crush like royal crown. My breath is short, my words capsize each time I meet your floodlight